In the last episode, I purchased glass from my local supplier, installed both baffles into the 20-gallon long sump using a caulk I haven't used before, made a custom heater holder out of ABS plastic, and also installed that into the sump, and made yet another trip to Home Depot for plumbing supplies, and started assembling all of it together. In this episode, I will keep working on the sump, create a bulletproof automatic top-off mount, and continue with the plumbing and wiring.
So that actually looks pretty good. It's really, like it's not going anywhere. I haven't used this caulk before, but it looks like it did a pretty good job. So now the next step is I'm going to take this razor blade and start fixing some of the blemishes that the caulk left behind, like cleaning this up, cleaning the back glass, and anywhere where caulk has dripped where I don't want it, I'm going to be removing that, and see you guys in a bit. And also the good thing about using a magic marker is by taking a razor blade, the magic marker comes right off pretty easily actually. What I'm working on now is an in the corner ATO system. It's going to be made out of, obviously, ABS plastic and some PVC pipe, which is going to go in the middle to bump it down. And it's also good because it's hollow, and that's where the wires will be hidden. So it's going to look something sort of similar to that. It's going to drop down, have another piece of ABS, and then obviously the ATO switches. So this is basic layout of what I have so far, and required a lot of measuring. But the water line, as we remember, is 9 inches high, and then where I want the second compartment in the sump's line to be is 7 inches high. So with these measurements, I should be within the ballpark of 7¼ to 7½. I guess we'll see, and if not, I can always cut another piece of PVC. It's pretty cheap. So what I'm going to do is take the measurements inside, and start measuring out the ABS plastic, cutting that to fit, and then assembling all of this together. And then once all that's super glued and together, I'll bring that back outside and glue all that in place.
The main ATO mount assembly was made out of ABS plastic and 3/4 inch PVC, as seen here. I need to screw the main ATO mount into the top of the sump, and in order to do that, after a lot of searching around, I finally found a nylon hardware kit at AutoZone of all places. They were a little long, so I shortened them by cutting them with wire cutters. So now, all I have to do is drill a few holes in the finished piece to be able to install it into the sump.
And so now that all of our holes are drilled, I'm going to test fit one of the ATO sensors. And then when this is finished, I will test the measurement in the sump and make sure it's around 7 inches. It doesn't have to be exactly, but around 7 inches. And here it is installed. I haven't super glued the top in yet, but rough layout of what it's going to look like. And then our measurement, it's when the ATO switch activates, it's actually going to be 7 1/4. So close enough for me. So my water line is going to be 7 1/4 high. So if that's 9, that's where the water line is going to be. And now, since the top of the ATO sensor, or the ATO mount, is nice and firm with the sides here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, flip it over, and then super glue those 2 nuts to the bottom of the ATO mount, so I don't need a wrench underneath to loosen or tighten them anymore. They'll just be affixed permanently. And then when the super glue is applied, just use my accelerant. Give it a nice couple squirts. And once the super glue is dry, you can just take the screw out. And the top, the ATO sensor is ready. And the bottom has the nuts in place. So all I need to do now is put a little bit more super glue in here, make sure those nuts don't move around, and then mount this to the top of the tank. And here it is, temporarily installed. So the cables can probably come over here. Actually, there'll be 2 of them, but they'll come out like that. I might put a black tube on it. So I have a lot of plumbing pieces that I have here, and I'll briefly go over exactly what they're doing. First is going to be the overflow, and this is going to be inside of the aquarium in the overflow section, and this is what's going to take the wastewater out. And what I'm going to be using is 1-inch pipe, like 1-inch tubing, and there's going to be a tube which comes out of here and which will connect this to the top. So that will be connected like that. And then this is a 90 going into a 3/4 bulkhead, and then obviously your lock line out. And then this will connect here, like so. And then everything will be Teflon tape threaded. But as of right now, I'm waiting on the aquarium to get here, and since it's back ordered, I can't make, my measurements. So I actually have to wait till the aquarium gets here to go any further. So I'll also include a list of all the parts that I bought from Home Depot. Basically everything that you see here that's white actually came from Home Depot, and everything that you see here that is black came from Bulk Reef Supply. They're in their Black Friday sale. So in a nutshell, that's the plumbing. Just waiting on the aquarium to get here. So now that most of the snow has melted, I can finally work outside, and what I'm going to be working on next is I'm going to be painting the sump different colors, 2 colors, white and black. And for right now, I'm going to start painting the bottom of the sump white. And that is after 1 coat of spray paint. And what I've also done is just go ahead and grab the paintbrush and just fix any blemishes I see. I know that I've written on there with a pen, so I've just gone over that. So I'm going to wait till that dries, and the next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm at the point where I can start wiring this. Like this light needs to be wired, it needs to go back, so I need to drill a hole through this 2x4, and that needs to go through here. And then I'm just going to start wiring the cabinets for all the switches and the breakout distribution block, and go from there. And now I just have to drill 4 holes into the switch box so it can be mounted in the cabinet.
For all of the wiring, I am using Cat 6 cable. It comes in 4 pairs per cable, and more than sufficient for this particular application. I strip all of the cables. And then install them onto the switches. Afterwards, not pictured, I soldered all of the connections.
place. So I can mount this switch box in place.
Next episode, I will continue the wiring. Finally, completely finish the sump. Cut the overflow hole on the cabinet. And start on the main lighting mounts. I hope you are enjoying the videos, and if you are, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and a great way to support the channel.